about how absurd and creeped out y'all would be if both men were non-disabled. Today, I will be reacting to just a little snippet from the new YouTube documentary entitled State of Pride. If you haven't already watched it, go watch it. Raymond Braun does a fabulous job at both narrating and being the lead interviewer. One of the LGBT influencers Raymond interviews is Carson Tueller. I was introduced to Carson a few weeks ago when a friend suggested that I should try to connect with him. For those who don't know who Carson is, let me give you a limited bio of him. Carson has a spinal cord injury which leaves him dependent upon a wheelchair. He has an Instagram where he is trying to debunk the stereotypical notions of individuals living with disabilities. Go follow him and tell him I sent you over. So, during their discussion, Carson says this to Raymond.
Have I already, vented to you about this?
About
how,
making sure that people know you're virile?
Well, yeah, and that I'm a sexual creature like any other human, because with disability, there's this social narrative around,
Yeah.
It's kind of like an asexual narrative, right?
They expect that?
Yeah, or there's just always a lot of questioning around sexual function.
Uh-huh.
I get asked probably every other day whether or not I can get it up or if everything
Are you
works.
serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so having that always questioned as a single person dating is not the funnest thing.
As you can tell, Carson is frustrated, and rightfully so. As Carson says, it's a social narrative. I would add that it is a wrong social narrative placed on us, the quote-unquote disabled community. While I placed some responsibility for this on the LGBT community, I place much more responsibility on the general public. The general public has basically monopolized the image of the disabled person as this helpless, sympathy generator, inspirational, and quite frankly freaks for typical people to get their endorphins. To be very clear, this doesn't include every individual who has ever worked with a disabled person. It's also reinforced in our public school systems where disabled people are kept away from their able-bodied peers in a special ed program rather than being in the same classrooms with accommodations. Yes, this is harsh, but it's the reality. It's portrayed in our TV shows, movies, in our mainstream media. How often do you see a news story on a mild disabled person? They're non-existent. If they are, show me some. That's my point. We don't exist for clicks, views, donations, charitable volunteer purposes, jokes, viral moments, etc. To go on a side rant for a moment, this is why I don't enjoy participating in these one-night-a-year events designed either for raising money or some offset counterproductive to an event. Quite frankly, I didn't go to the Night to Shine event because of this very reason. I am capable of having a romantic relationship and don't need Valentine's Day to be countered with a speech about how much I am loved by God. These events are run by volunteers right in our own community. What message are you sending to those volunteers? Oh, maybe one that says, these people are not capable of a romantic relationship. Why don't we have 18+ single a night which doesn't have volunteers acting as buddies but as supervisors of the event? Oh wait, Maybe it's because having pity is much more appealing and you get more press. Anyway, let me now share one of my own stories regarding this bizarre view of people with disabilities. I was hanging out with a friend at some event. There was this teenage girl helping out. My friend says, "Oh, that girl is cute, why don't you ask her out?" I don't even think she was 18 at the time of the incident. I shrugged it off and rambled something totally unrelated off. Ironically, he thought I said, "Why don't you ask her out then?" To which he chuckled and replied, "Oh, I think that would be illegal." Then I thought, well, I am older than you are. Just stop and think about it for just a moment. Think about how absurd and creeped out y'all would be if both men were non-disabled. This is exactly my point. We, as a society, have lowered the social status of disabled individuals to some foreign alien status that we can exploit for enjoyment, revenue, shaming, and charitable work. This is also known as ableism. As a gay man with a disability, I can't tell you how many times men thought I was attractive, but once they found out that I had cerebral palsy, they vanish. Guys will ask me if everything works down there. Sometimes I just got to pause and wonder if guys, the general public, think I'm an alien. Obviously, everything is just fine and dandy. Another usual occurrence is they vanish when they find out I have a speech impediment. Yeah, as most of y'all who follow me on Instagram know, I posted pictures of me in my undies on Saturday. And yes, I was looking right at the camera in a sexual way, and I was engaging with my privates. I posted these pictures as a protest of this stigmatization and stereotypical view. Well, this is all for today's video. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you Wednesday for a running vlog. Bye.